Need an alternative to infinity? Here are the best games to play if you love No Man's Sky. The procedurally generated joy of No Man's Sky is almost inimitable. Why would you want to play anything else when the next galaxy over might have just what you're looking for? But it's important to recognize that other games are available, and that's exactly what we've gathered here. From underwater alternatives to even more stressful experiences with friends, these exploration-based resource quests have everything that makes No Man's Sky so compelling. They might not speak Gek though, but we can work on that. Here are the best games to play on PC if you love No Man's Sky.
You can survive one more day.
If weird and colourful planetary exploration is what makes No Man's Sky your favourite game to explore, then may I crash land Astroneer into your sights. This open planet is your purple, green, and well, every coloured sandbox to take apart piece by piece, and then put back together in all manner of sci-fi gadgets. Just like No Man's Sky, you can pillage the environment to your desire. Just this time, you have a deform tool that turns the world into clay beneath your space-gloved fingertips. Suck up the ground, spit it out somewhere else. You can mold the world as you like. You don't have to go it alone either. Astroneer is co-op friendly, so you can all craft, get lost, and run out of oxygen together. They say one more cave, you say my oxygen is at 0. A fun back and forth. The possibilities in space are truly endless. From the far reaches of space to, well, the bottom of an ocean in the far reaches of space. After crash landing on an unknown planet, Subnautica sees you swim deeper into the ocean on a mission to, well, stay alive. This is a world that might look cartoony and pretty, but unless you've picked up the right resources, you're going to be pretty dead pretty fast.
30 seconds.
But start crafting and the ocean floor opens up to you. Just like No Man's Sky, you can craft yourself your ultimate underwater base. But it's worth saying that there's real fear here. Creatures lurk in this ocean that you're not going to like. It's also worth noting that this is not procedurally generated like Hello Games' Universe Sim. You can happily check guides to find out where to go, but exactly what would the fun be in that? Good luck, diver. You're going to need it.
Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible.
It may not be as infinitely vast as No Man's Sky, but Outer Wilds still has that sense of exciting, unknown exploration. Each new planet in your spaceship's windscreen is a place of possibility. And also danger, but also marshmallows. Yes, I bring these fluffy, delicious treats up every time I mention this game, but I just think they're neat. You trek out in a wooden ship to uncover the secrets of your local solar system, and hopefully solve the greatest one of all: why the sun goes supernova every 22 minutes. So it has much more of a story than No Man's Sky. But there's no quest markers to hop to one by one. It is still very much down to your sense of adventure to uncover any clues. But don't let that overwhelm you, as you can just as happily listen to some banjo playing for hours on end, rather than solve anything. Ah, good. Finally somewhere you don't need to worry about running out of fuel or your shields running out of toxicity protection. Oh wait, in Sea of Thieves you just need to worry about real-life human beings coming to steal your treasure that you spent a long time swimming back to your ship with, and even longer trying to protect from krakens. But hey, at least grabbing some friends and playing at pirates is almost ludicrous amounts of fun. Even if someone grabs the ship's cat and threatens to throw the purring creature overboard. Just like No Man's Sky, Sea of Thieves has no shortage of updates over the years to bring this living world to life in a way that will make players truly content with the experience. The anniversary update even brought in the ability to fry fish, even if you can then be sick on it before serving it up. Thanks. While all sprawling resource hunting in universes seem overwhelming as a noob, few are quite as intimidating as Elite Dangerous when it comes to feeling like a very small cog in an infinite machine. But that doesn't mean you should shy away from Frontier's MMO. It just means a glance over some guides as homework might be a good idea.
I thought we had this covered, Commander.
To skip this space sim entirely though would be to miss out on an exceptional flight experience, made even better should you choose to invest in a flight stick, and we've made a video of other games you should add to your list if you've done just that. And while the space battles are tense experiences and lasers and holding your nerve, the politics and story at work in Elite Dangerous are truly impressive. Make some tentative allies or bring your friends, and this is a constantly thrilling adventure.
3, 2, 1.
Despite looking great, the planets in No Man's Sky are incredibly dangerous. There are all manner of ways to trip off this mortal coil. And if that sense of survival is what gets you so excited to journey across a procedurally generated universe, then Don't Starve might be the next stop on your journey. It's not in space, it's not even three-dimensional, but it has a very similar feeling of panicked survival that you can't get enough of. In a weird storybook world, you must scrape by through whatever means necessary, living off the land and crafting essentials such as flower crowns and crock pots. Simply balance health, hunger, and sanity as the night closes in and things get weird. Then there are all sorts of biomes to explore, creatures to meet, and wormholes to jump through. It's not a grand universe to jet off to, but there are many secrets to uncover which will keep you busy enough. If the absolute vastness of No Man's Sky is what drew you in and kept you there for hours on end, then may we suggest EVE Online. Space is that final frontier of discovery and possibility, and it takes a special kind of game to relate that feeling. But EVE manages it. This totally open universe is populated with thousands of players who you can interact with. Or run away from, we're not judging. But the threat of other people being around makes it an enjoyable but constant challenge. Space is dangerous and unknown, just waiting for you to come along and discover it. EVE is for those who love science fiction, who want to get lost in the possibility of a future traveling through the cosmos. It's hard to sum up a game so detailed, but if No Man's Sky is starting to feel small, then EVE Online will remind you how big space can really be. It might not be a trip into space, but if crafting and exploration is what you love so much about No Man's Sky, ARK Survival Evolved even has strange, deadly creatures to make you feel at home. If by strange, deadly creatures, we mean actual dinosaurs. Waking up in a world of John Hammond's finest really isn't easy, but it was just as rewarding as finding those precious fuel elements. And if No Man's Sky's addition of actually being able to ride its odd creations is what appeals to you, then you can do that here too. But it's not quite as simple as just throwing a saddle on a velociraptor, or clicking at it, Jurassic World. You'll have to weaken your mount to be before bringing them back to strength with just the right food, and tame them enough to not want to constantly eat your extremities. Add this to a world where everything else does, and this is a constant fight, not just for dominance, but to keep air in your lungs. Speaking of air in your lungs, it's time to hold your breath for the watery joys of Raft. Another survive, craft, and exploration fest, Raft pits you against the threats of the ocean wave, forcing you to scavenge from whatever the sea can offer. With only a trusty hook at first to catch whatever resources float past, life bobbing on the titular raft is instantly challenging. The good news though is that like No Man's Sky, you can grab some friends to survive alongside you. This means that when the local wildlife shows up and makes you wish you had a bigger boat, you actually have someone to say that to and feel smug about managing to make a very predictable reference, but a fun one nonetheless. Raft is still in early access, but that doesn't mean there's not plenty of game here. An ocean of updates since release means that you'll be waving, not drowning, in no time. So that's the best games on PC like No Man's Sky you should play right now. Let us know your favourite alternatives in the comments below, give us a like to keep our resources going, and subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one. If you do already subscribe to the channel, make sure to hit the notification bell to make sure you know when our next video lands.